Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Popcorn and Coffee Movie Podcast Table Talk YouTube. That's it.
A long name. We need to shorten that. Get an acronym.
Shield.
There we go.
No, we're back to do another episode of the Boba Fett series on Disney Plus. And how are you tonight?
Fantastic. It's a little past my bedtime, but
Oh gosh, we won't get into that.
No, we will not because we have other stuff to talk about.
So you watched it.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, let's just dive right into it then. What were your thoughts on this one? You sound like you have some.
It's terrible. It was it was the worst episode of the series so far.
Wow.
I was so disappointed. First of all,
okay,
the story, sick and tired of seeing his flashbacks. I don't care how he met Fezzik or Fennec. Fezzik from Princess Bride. I don't care how he met Fennec. I don't care that she got body modifications because she's dying. Like, I didn't need to see all that. There's no drive. The issue right now we're having with this series is there's no drive to the story. You get 40 minutes of flashback, 35 minutes of flashback, and then like 10 minutes of the story progressing of his role as this lord, like overlord,
crime boss.
Yeah. And I'm tired of it. It's like, make the whole episode about him and propel the story somewhere. But no, you want to keep flashbacking to stuff that we don't need to see. This Tatooine hack doctor, which he does do a good job. I'll give him that. He does a fine job. And I don't know. It's just ridiculous. And then let's talk about the Bantha. Was like a dog sitting there.
The Bantha?
Yeah, the Bantha panting and wagging its tail for a piece of meat. I didn't even know mantas were carnivores. Huh?
What scene are you talking about?
Where he's sitting around the fire. It was after he checked out Jabba's palace.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like, let's get some food. He's sitting around the fire, roasting the rack of lamb or whatever he's got. I don't know. And the Bantha's there wagging its tail like it wants a piece. I didn't know Banthas were carnivores.
What? And when he went to release it in the one scene, he was like scratching under its chin and it licked his face. And I'm like, is this a big dog? What is the thing supposed to be? Because I assumed it was some form of like space cattle, at best.
Exactly.
Like a big cow or
an ox.
Like an elephant. But the one thing that I wrote down that I was like, this is the show was in the scene when he released the Bantha, and I quote, he said, "You're free. Go find other Banthas. Make baby Banthas."
I laughed, but I was so angry.
Why is that the dialogue in this scene?
I don't know.
It has Jon Favreau's hands written all over it. Like, I could see him saying that. But this character, to me, should not be saying that. You know what I mean? The Boba Fett character is so weak. So weak. And that's what I don't like about it the most. I'm intrigued by the stories. I don't find the flashbacks as irritating as you do, because to me, it's still revealing the world. So the aspects of the Star Wars galaxy and this specific world where there's people on this literally doing body modifications for fun. Like, she went in there because she was dying and she needed it. And that was a cool scene. But there's people here who are just like, I want a robot eye because I want a robot eye. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is a world where droids exist and that technology exists. I'm intrigued by that. So it doesn't bother me that much. But what I find absolutely terrible personally is that the show is about him and about his rise in power to this position that he's trying to gain. And he does absolutely nothing to command respect from anyone at all. Why should they hold him in this position of authority? I don't get it. I don't get it. Even that scene when he's sitting with them around the table and he's like, look, come work for me. We'll all just be friends, whatever. And he's like, he's trying to be respectful about it. And they're like, what's going to keep us from killing you? And then the Rancor is right beneath them and it like screams at him. And then they're just like, okay, we get it. Yeah. Well, and I'm just like, Boba Fett as a character is not an intimidating character. Why do I care about him? Why are you asking me to care about him? Because that's what the show is about. He's the main character. Because I don't.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
My favorite scenes are the ones where he gets beat up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at least stuff's going on. That whole scene when they snuck in to get his ship. Again, like you said, I don't care how he got his ship back. Plus, he's like, I gotta find my armor. So he went back to the was that creature that swallowed him up?
Oh, the Sarlacc pit.
Sarlacc pit. We already know it's not in there. So that entire scene is a waste of time because we already know that the Jawas took it from him when he was unconscious.
Yeah, so why does he think it's in there? He had it on. He knew he had it on when he climbed out.
Your guess is as good as mine, man.
Like he knew. They even referenced. They said he knew he had it on because she said
it protects.
Beskha armor is the only thing that protected you while you were in there. If it was off of him and it was in the pit, he would have died.
Yeah. And I mean, that scene was cool. And the scene of her releasing that explosive to go into the hole and you felt the shockwave. That was some of the best stuff from that. Yeah. The original, what was it, episode 2? 3. When he's using those.
Prequel.
Django.
Yeah.
And he's releasing those and that shockwave and that blah sound. But it was all underground. That was legit. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like stuff that's. What are we building to? Because I don't know.
That's what I want to know. Because we're 4 episodes in of a 7-episode series.
I know.
And we're getting 10 minutes of story propelling each episode.
Yeah.
I will say my favorite scene in this episode
is
when they go ahead. Go.
I'll see if I can guess.
Okay.
Was it the Wookiee in the
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And when he she's trying to talk him down to not do it, and he's just like, no, I don't care. And like that was awesome.
That guy's arm off and then just pays the she's like, you owe a lot of money. And he's like, fine, I'll pay it. I don't care. And I'm gonna hurt this guy just because I'm an awful person. Yeah. And of course he's gonna end up with him. We knew that was gonna happen. Even nothing in this show is shocking me or surprising me in the slightest.
No.
Because as soon as we see him sitting in that bar and he's just drinking, and the Wookiee's an awesome character he doesn't speak, he doesn't do anything. He's just a presence. He's by far the most intriguing character in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was going to end up being one of his lackeys, one of his groupies, because you're not going to let that character just disappear.
Yeah. Well, and that's the funny thing. I had a conversation with somebody else about the previous episode and him just being like, okay, you're free now. Like, why wouldn't you offer him a job right there? And I feel the only reason they did that was because they knew coming to this episode, they wanted that scene where he ripped that guy's arm off and then him going.
Could have done that though.
Yeah, I know. It's just
that would have been more intriguing to be like, especially in the last episode, because the Wookiee just got done trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we should just come work for me. Like, that's what I want to see. And then them go back to that bar place and him rip some dude's arm off. And then Boba have to have a discussion with him. Like, look, that's not what we're doing. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That seems far more intriguing than what we actually got.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I don't know. I don't understand where the direction's going. I thought by now, giving it a couple episodes, we'd get more vision, and there's just nothing right now. And this episode was directed by what's his name? Gary something.
Not sure.
Oh, Kevin Tanchiron.
Okay.
He's done like some other like TV show stuff, a few like some of the Flash stuff,
Oh,
CW's Flash stuff, and different stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just whatever. Some of the CGI in it was even really bad. The scene where when he gets Finnick and he takes her to the chop shop, and he's sitting there on that bantha, and the CGI looks really bad. I'm like, did you guys just not care to make it look good? What are we doing?
The prosthetic stuff was still really good. All the creatures in the cantina or whatever that thing is, it's a bar or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep calling it a cantina because that's all I can. They looked really good, and I mean, him beating up those creatures was fine. I want to just see it's a matter of Boba Fett not being who I think that Boba Fett is, and maybe that's just me and my expectations. But the scene when he gets his shit back, and the first thing he does is track down that biker gang and literally shoot all of them. I'm like, that's the guy I want to see.
Right. Yeah. But the only reason he did that was because that biker gang killed his friends.
Yeah. And that's fine. Even if his motivation to me is he's trying to be a better person, and then something happens that pushes him over the edge, like in that first episode when those assassins are trying to kill him and they're beating the crap out of him, and he's trying to restrain himself because he doesn't want to hurt anyone, to the point where he gets pushed over the edge and he's like, forget this. And then he just starts rocketing people and just murdering them because he's angry at that point. Even that would be fine with me, but we don't see that contrast in every episode where he's like, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and you're making me kill you right now and I don't want to. We don't even get that because he doesn't hurt anyone. Although, and if we're thinking of droids in the Star Wars universe as being sentient beings, Ming-Na Wen's Fennec literally cut that droid's head off.
Yeah.
Hardcore cut his head off. So if they're sentient,
another terrible scene. He's chasing this little like
rat catcher.
Yeah, around. And it's supposed to be funny. Like, I don't get it's just random humor. Here's what I think we're gonna see though in the coming episodes. I think we actually see Pedro Pascal from The Mandalorian come into the show at some point, because, and possibly the next episode, because at the end of this one, you heard the Mandalorian theme when Finnick and Boba Fett are talking on the balcony of the palace.
Really?
You hear the theme in the background when she goes, we're going to need more muscle. They're talking about getting more muscle. And you hear that theme song playing in the background. So I think we're going to see, I think we'll see him come in to the show, because they obviously know each other at this point. They've worked together.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know why he doesn't call them himself. Like, he knows a war is brewing. Why doesn't he call them?
Right.
Hey, remember that time I helped you? I need help.
Yeah.
Plus, he used the word idiot a lot in this episode. And I'm like, why are you calling everyone idiots? Like, every time he was talking to, and I was like, okay, I get it. But he said it like 3 times where he's tired of working for idiots who are just going to get him killed. He said like that phrase like 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand your motivations at all.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't get.
I don't think this episode was as bad as. I think episode 2 was the worst episode. Episode 1 was a little bit better than that. And then this. So I just set it in backwards order. But episode 3, 4, 1, 2 is probably my order of decency. Because again, I would say this one's better than those other 2 just because the Wookiee was in it. And I like the Wookiee. Episode 2 was by far the worst episode, though. That episode was a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
It was him making a stick. That's it.
Yeah.
and that's the lizard hallucinations. That episode is trash.
Bring back more of that. That's all I'm gonna say. 'Cause
No.
I think this episode was trash. I do. I don't know. He's fully healed now,
Yeah.
so he shouldn't be getting back in the deprivation tank or
Nope.
whatever they want to call it. So maybe we won't get more flashbacks. Maybe the flashbacks are done at this from this point since he is
Ooh,
fully
that would
healed.
be so good too.
It would. But I don't know. We'll see.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's funny that we were not originally planning on starting with this series for doing these Wednesday night things.
Oh, I know.
But I'm kind of happy that we did end up having to start with this series.
It's working out so well. And this show is a perfect example of just like, because like the Hawkeye series, which was the last one we got, was a great series, honestly. And it laid it out fairly well. They had its hiccups in the middle, but the show went from A, B, C, D to the end of the show really well. We're in episode 4, and I'm still like, I have no idea what this is about. I get it, it's about Boba Fett,
Trying to find his way in the universe.
but I don't care.
He's just a simple man trying to earn his way through your universe.
I just don't care.
No.
And I hope this isn't a sign of how they're all going to be, because I hope the Obi-Wan series is going to be better than this. And if it's just a bunch of him meandering, doing nothing,
Yeah,
that's going to be really unfortunate.
yeah. It's almost like watching The Walking Dead when that show was on, and you get like 5 episodes of nothing,
Yeah.
and then you get the grand finale, season finale, where they actually kill some people and get some action, and then the following season you get the same thing, 5 episodes of nothing, and yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. We're gonna keep watching, and we're gonna keep putting this out every Wednesday. So
You're going to hear our thoughts on it.
yes, whether you want to or not. We are gonna.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all I got on this one. So
That's all I've got, too, guys. We appreciate you joining and listening. Please leave a comment. Tell us what you thought about this episode. Do you agree with him, me, or do you land somewhere in the middle of the both of us? I'm interested to hear what everybody else thinks about this show. This is going to release here on YouTube, or you can go find it on our podcast, Popcorn and Coffee. We release the audio version over there, as well as every 2 weeks we still release our full length our podcast episodes of our movie reviews. And our last one, Joe Bell, is up there now. You can go listen to that one. Next week another one will drop. Where can they find us?
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you watch podcasts or listen to podcasts. Check us out on YouTube now. These are obviously drop on YouTube every Wednesday, or you can listen to these episodes on your podcast platform. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. That's all for today, guys.
And remember, find a female Banta and make baby Bantas and live a long and happy life.
Bye.
Bye.